My name is Emma Holten. I'm a feminist activist. I'm 24 years old and I live in Copenhagen, where I was also born. What is gender-based violence? It's difficult to answer. I think that it's violence that you wouldn't have experienced had you not had the gender that you have. So for me, identifying as transgender and being the victim of a trans hate crime would also be gender-based violence. I think, being a woman and being in a heterosexual relationship and being subject to violence in that would also be termed as gender-based violence. And I think what's also important in the gender-based violence is that it also inscribes itself in a larger system of violence and a larger system of oppression. So not only are you victim of actual physical violence, you're also victim of a system that then tries to reduce your experience or tries to minimize the ways in which you can talk about what you experience. So there are many systems in place to make it that makes it difficult to eradicate gender-based violence. And I think that it's very central to gender-based violence that it's a part of a larger problem with domination and power, which kind of leads me to the next question, which is, what do you think about gender domination? I don't like it. Obviously, as I'm a feminist, I don't think any gender should dominate the other. And I think that in some modern thinkers tend to think that you can have very dominating types of masculinity without there being victims of it. And I don't think that's true. I think identifying or structuring some of your identity around having power over others will always lead to violence. I think it'll, if not direct physical violence, it will lead to violence upon a person's mental health, upon their person in other ways. You ask also if I have been a victim of gender-based violence, and I think that I have, in that I am a revenge porn survivor, which definitely is, to me, a very gendered type of assault and a very gendered type of abuse. The harassment that I suffered after pictures of me had been leaked without my consent was very heavily gendered. It was motivated in part by our dysfunctional relationship to female sexuality, our dysfunctional relationships with women's rights to their own bodies, which is not seen as a right, more so as a privilege that you could lose. And I think that what is so painful about gender-based violence is that it is not personally motivated by something that you have done directly. It is something that gains its strength not from, private interactions with another person, but from, 10,000 years of gender-based oppression and violence. So you not only fight the person who is directly contacting you or harassing you or violating you, you're also fighting against the dominant majority opinions or discourses that tells that person that what they're doing is okay, that it is somehow acceptable. So your dehumanization is very complete and very thorough, because you do suffer violence that is motivated by your gender and by something that you can't change. Thank you.